What's all this then? Oh, we're having prawns, I see.
Shrimp, actually.
Yeah, but, you know, prawn, shrimp, really, what's the difference? They all taste the same.
Well, there is. There is a physical difference.
Really?
Yes.
And what would that be?
Well, they're like food critics.
They're like food critics.
They're like food critics.
How so?
Because they have extra claws.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of One Chef One Critic. I'm Karl Wells, food critic for The Telegram.
And I'm Chef Steve Watson of Central Areas.
Well, Steve, since you've explained very succinctly the difference between prawns and shrimp, perhaps you can give us a little bit of a lesson in preparing shrimp.
Absolutely, Karl. When I purchase them, I really want to make sure that they're all nice and clean by removing anything that's in the track there, so that's all nice and clean there. And I always like to keep the tail on, and the reason being is when I sauté them, I only want to keep them lightly cooked. So it'll be like this. So this will be our letter C. Okay, like so.
If you say so.
If I say so, okay. And then if you don't, and they're overcooked, you get the letter O. And they tend to be kind of tough. So there's O and C, just like the alphabet,
Okay.
right?
So C before O.
Oh, C before O, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's a nice little tip, Steve. Thanks very much. And coming up on the program today, our very special guest is Kelly Sandoval, someone we know really well.
Indeed we do.
But we want you guys to know her better. She is the volunteer coordinator for Rogers TV in St. John's. Very important person.
Indeed she is.
And what will we be preparing for our lovely guest?
We've got some beautiful large scallops and some jumbo shrimp in a fresh
Oh,
linguine.
We actually get to eat the shrimp.
Yes, we do.
That's great. And our other guest is guest chef Kathy Jaeger of Newfoundland Eggs Incorporated. And Kathy is going to be making a beautiful zucchini and artichoke tart, which I'm guessing will probably have some eggs in it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Stick around. For a complete listing of One Chef One Critic recipes, wine lists, and more, check out our website. Let us know what you think of the show at 757-90. And here we are with Kelly Sandoval herself. Nice to have you with us, and nice to see you on this side of the camera.
Yes, it's delightful to be here.
Because usually you're over there somewhere,
I am.
or taking pictures, or bossing people around.
I'm good at that, they say.
Yeah. So, what are we going to be cooking with Kelly?
We've got some beautiful large jumbo shrimp here, Kelly, as you can see, and we've got some large scallops, and we're going to be cooking them in a little bit of cream sauce. We've got some snap peas, a little bit of heat there, we've got some red chili peppers there, and Karl's going to cook a little bit of fresh linguine off for us as well.
Okay.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, so let's get started.
Fresh linguine, no
And that's only going to take about 4 or 5 minutes to cook, Karl.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to put a little bit of fresh
Actually,
butter in there with some olive oil. Get that going, and then we can put in our scallops.
so I should put salt in this water, right?
Yeah, you can put some salt. Do you want some olive oil to go in there as well, perhaps, just to stop it from sticking together? There we go. Perfect. So I'll just get this to melt, and then I'll get you to stir them around a little bit. And I'll put some of the jumbo shrimp in there. There's no shortage of the shrimp today.
Look at these.
They're humongous.
They're massive.
I think that's going to be enough. I'll just give you the spoon here.
Okay.
Here we go.
The sizzling shrimp.
The sizzling shrimp, indeed.
Oh my gosh, look at this guy.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to put some of the scallops in there as well. Not being shy. And we don't want to really overcook them either. So.
No, they don't take long.
No. We'll just stir them around a little bit.
Wow.
While those are cooking, I'm going to saute some green peas off as well to go inside there. Perfect.
So that's a julienne cut.
A julienne cut, yes. I'm just going to give a little colour and a
Yeah.
little snap to the actual meal itself. So.
Yeah.
So Kelly, I mentioned that you're the volunteer coordinator for Rogers TV.
Yes.
How long have you been in that job?
I've been with Rogers TV for just over 3 years now. Yeah.
Oh. And are you I know Rogers TV has studios in Corner Brook, Grand Falls, Gander, St. John's. Right. So are you the provincial coordinator or just St. John's coordinator?
Pretty much just St. John's. I deal with all the volunteers, the recruitment, training, all that kind of stuff for our local station here. The other stations have their own kind of pocket of volunteers.
Okay.
It's a little smaller, so I don't think they really need the same amount of, but they have a very loyal group of volunteers that they,
Yeah, of course,
they have.
yeah.
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 I'm just going to add a little bit of chopped fresh garlic in there as well, give it a little bit of extra flavour. And we'll put a little bit of seasoning in there, just a little bit of salt and pepper. Maybe if you can just turn it up just a touch, Karl, the stove.
More heat?
Please,
Let's see what
yeah.
we can do here.
Well, I start
I'll
flipping
drive it up to
these.
6.
Yes, you can.
Perfect.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
And our red pepper flakes as well.
Yeah, we started off so well with the sizzling, but
I
then it sort
know.
of petered out.
Beat
didn't
it out just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, Kelly, there are lots of opportunities out there for volunteers, not just Rogers TV. So how is it a challenge finding the right volunteer to work at Rogers TV? I mean, you have to. It has to kind of fit.
Yes.
Be the right fit for you, doesn't it?
But I also think that people underestimate how much they could learn and fit in to our station.
Right.
I think people are surprised to learn, there are is no required background.
Well, that's right. You don't have to have a degree in-
production.
yeah,
No,
that's
not at
right.
all. So there's all kinds of capacities and not all of them technical. So I think really a lot of people fit the bill. Yeah.
And what about age groups?
Age groups, pretty much we run the gamut. It's super diverse at
Yeah,
our St.
yeah.
John's station. We have kids in high school who are just getting a real interest in broadcasting or TV production. Probably they're taking their own videos.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, a lot of people are doing that now. So even something as simple as being interested in learning more about that and how to do it properly and how to go a little further.
sure.
We have those people, and we also have retirees who are maybe been interested in learning more about behind the scenes. Or
So
just-
I will be okay with
Oh yeah, we take you, Steve. I think we
You're
we
not
can.
retired, by the way.
No, I know. Almost.
But yeah, we pretty much have a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
Like we really represent.
The
And
broad perspective. Now.
totally, yeah, you'd be so surprised. Yeah.
I'm going to add a little bit of dried basil onto the top of that as well. Add another dimension to the flavours.
Now, Steve, I don't really like contradicting you, but and I'm not criticizing. Believe me, because there are a lot of people who believe this. But you asked me to put some oil in here, which I did
Yep.
dutifully.
Yep.
Dutifully put the oil in, so as the pasta wouldn't stick.
Correct.
But it's a myth.
It's a myth.
It's a
Well,
myth.
Why would it be a myth, Karl?
It is a myth that putting oil in the water, pasta water, will prevent it from sticking. It's not going to stick. Period.
Why?
I don't know why, but I can tell you, you don't need to put oil in the pasta water. It's fine. It's fine without oil,
It's fine without oil.
and so you can save yourself some
oil.
Some oil. But we have it in there. I suppose in a way I put it in because I thought it would add a little bit of flavor.
Flavour.
Yeah.
And especially with it being extra virgin olive oil as well.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. But you don't have to.
So we've got our peas in there. Still just doesn't seem to be much heat there, Karl.
That's looking nice though.
Yeah, it's coming
All
along
right,
very-
I'm gonna really drive it up, so you're gonna have to be careful.
Absolutely.
These things.
It's on bus.
So did you ever volunteer yourself prior to going?
I have
Rogers?
volunteered.
What do you
in
think
the
she's
past.
doing now?
Yeah, I know.
Good point, Karl.
He's not being paid to be on this show.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
That's right. I mean, you guys fit the bill too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? In the past, yes, I have volunteered, but
Yeah.
never for this. And if I had known that this existed, I probably would have been really interested
There
and
you go.
gravitated towards something like this
Absolutely,
opportunity.
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The volunteers, I mean, as much as we wouldn't be able to do any of the shows that we do without them, they also gain an awful lot of skills and confidence, and it's very social. There's a
Sure
huge
is,
amount
yeah.
of camaraderie between our volunteers.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and they have a great time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm just going to leave it to about another minute. Then we're going to add some 35% whipping cream. Then we're going to reduce that right down, and then we'll just put some chopped scallions on the top of it. So.
You know,
That's
you know what I think the problem is?
What's that?
These were very cold.
Yeah.
And
Into a hot pan.
There's a lot of them in there, so it brought the heat of the pan down, and that's why we had this dramatic shift from sizzle to flop.
I wouldn't say flop.
Oh no.
No, it's not flopping. It looks delicious, actually.
Yeah.
You've got plenty
And
of
as a
colour
matter
in
of
there.
fact, they pretty much look cooked.
Cooked anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are now.
Yeah. And I have to drain this
Yeah, I'm just gonna
pasta.
put a little bit of cream in there, and that'll reduce down quite nicely. So we've got lots of colour in there now.
Gosh,
exactly.
it
It's
really
really
looks
working.
good.
All in flavours are there now.
And it smells amazing. It smells as good as it
I
looks.
think the garlic's bringing it through as well.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, how many volunteers do you need at Rogers TV in St. John's?
Well, we have in total, en masse, we have between 55 and 65 at any given time. It just seems to
That's a
maintain.
lot.
Yeah, we do. And some of them are more frequent. I mean, some of them can only give us maybe a couple of hours a week. But then we have others that are quite regular
Right.
and really, are integral
Sure.
to the productions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just
So our
depends.
pasta's just about ready there, is it, Karl?
Our pasta is ready.
We'll just leave it to the side there.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. Perfect.
Drained, all ready to go.
And it's not sticking together?
No? So what's the process if somebody wants to be a volunteer?
If somebody wants to be a volunteer, they can contact myself or they can go through our website, rogerstv.com. On there, there's a whole lot more information about the volunteer experience. They can actually apply right online with a very simple application form. That comes to me. I'll give them a shout. I'll give them a little email or a call. Then they can come in and have a tour. They can come in and tour and meet our producers and see what it's like behind the scenes. And if they feel comfortable, if they want to continue, which most of them do, I would say 99% of them want to come back as soon as they see what goes on. Then that's it. We decide, what role do you think you'd like? There's a lot of different roles they can do.
Yep.
And once they kind of find out what it is they'd like to do, we try to slot them into wherever.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's one thing they can't do, though, and that's pick out wine for this show. That's my job. And I'm going off now to pick out some wine.
Please do, Karl.
You do that.
And we'll carry on cooking and we'll assemble the dish.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, Karl. How are you?
Today, we have a very decadent dish. It's jumbo shrimp and huge scallops and linguine.
Yeah.
Very creamy, very unctuous. So,
Sounds
what
lovely.
would Pazantes and Segovia fine wines recommend?
I have selected 3 wines for this particular dish. First of all, like a sparkling, which is always a nice wine with a creamy dish because it has good acidity and it refreshes the palate with the mousse.
It cuts through all of that.
Cuts through all
cream
the
and
cream and
everything,
everything.
yeah.
So this one is the Era Privé, which is a sparkling wine from Spain, actually from the area around north of Madrid. It's Verdejo and Chardonnay. So it has a lot. It's Méthode Champenoise, so it's very similar to a champagne actually.
I like that.
The second one would be Condes de Albaré. It's 100% Albarino. It's a Spanish wine as well, from an area where there's lots of seafood. So if it grows together, it goes together. So that one would be a lovely wine as well. And then last but not least, we have the Georges Michel Sauvignon Blanc, which is from New Zealand.
Right.
Very, very good acidity. Great wine with this dish as well. And it's very, very French in style, actually, seeing that Georges Michel is Burgundian. you know?
Yes, that's right. So what about price points?
Price points will go from $25 for the Georges Michel, $22 for the Condes de Albaré, and for the sparkling, the Era Privé, $23.
Okay, tough choice because they're all excellent wines
Lovely
and they would
wines,
all
yeah.
go very, very well with this dish, I believe.
Perfect matches.
I like the fact that, there's a little bit of French influence in this
Absolutely,
one.
yeah, it's a good choice. Yeah,
I'm
for
going to
sure.
go with the Georges Michel Sauvignon Blanc. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just a couple of nice ladles of our nice cream sauce there. We've got our garlic, our sugar snap peas, and a few scallions, our red pepper flakes, and I think we're ready. So let's go and see Karl and Kelly in the dining room and see how Karl's making out with his interview for volunteering.
Thank you.
Go.
The honoured
Now,
guest.
Thank you.
let's have a taste of this seafood treasure we've got.
Okay. I can't
Boy,
wait.
those are big shrimp.
They are indeed.
Yeah.
Huge, yeah.
Or prawns, as some people would say.
We're not going to go there,
There's no
Karl.
difference, is there, Karl?
Oh, we won't go there, Kelly.
Okay. Best not to. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Good job, Steve.
Yep. Well, with your help, for sure.
Cooked to perfection, as they say.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Yeah, excellent.
So, Kelly, okay, I picked a great moment to ask you a
I
question.
I should have known.
Maybe I'll ask it and then I'll answer it.
Yeah.
You and every waiter.
So what I was going to ask is, let me see. Oh, yes. So if somebody becomes a volunteer with Rogers TV, how do they learn to do whatever the job is? You know, if you're going to be a
Right.
cameraman, how do you learn how to become a cameraman? That can't be that easy. So do you have some kind of training program for the volunteers?
Yes, we really do. We never leave anybody to their own devices, especially at first while they're learning. Our producers are excellent mentors, and they take the time, as much time as necessary, to make sure that everyone has a handle on the technicalities of the role, whatever they may be, whether it be camera or audio. So they're there, and you're never left on your own. Like, you always have a professional
Yeah.
right there with you. So so it works out great.
I imagine there's a wide variety of volunteer jobs, different roles.
There is.
So is it hard to find volunteers for certain
Yes.
jobs?
I should say that yes and no. There are certain roles that lend themselves better to a certain types of personalities, perhaps, like
Right.
our guest relations role. You know, with they and we also couple that with makeup. So where guest relations makeup, it helps if they're a people person.
Yeah, you've got to be very
Yeah.
personable.
Absolutely, they
Yes,
have to feel
yeah.
comfortable interfacing.
You don't want a
with-
crabby person
No.
like me doing.
or really.
No. Critically like. Yeah,
or extremely shy, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
it kind of doesn't typically
the role.
Yeah.
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 But other than that, anybody can learn. You'd be surprised what people
Mm.
will learn to do, and sometimes you don't think that somebody would fit into something, and they really
Yeah.
take to it.
Now, what about going on air in front of the camera like Steve and I do? Is it
yeah.
difficult to find people to do that kind of thing, or?
Not like you think. Actually, we've had tremendous success with people making the leap into on camera. And it's great to see, because sometimes you just kind of get a sense that, hey, you know, they have a real presence, and they're
Yeah, you
really...
can tell right away.
You can
Yeah, yeah.
tell. And then, you know, from there, we'll kind of see what their interest is, and if they're interested and they kind of have some sort of gumption, then we have had a lot of people start out like that on Rogers TV, because really Rogers TV is the only place that you can actually dip your toe in, if you will.
Yeah.
In television,
In television,
sure, yeah.
right. So,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
if somebody thinks that they might be interested, this is the place to come to see
Yeah.
if it would be a good fit.
So they don't get paid. So this is kind of a crass question. What's in it for them? I mean, what do they take away? What do they get out of it?
Right. Well, for some of them who are really serious about maybe a potential career in TV production, broadcasting, journalism, my gosh, it's really priceless, actually, to be able to come and work alongside professionals and see how it all happens. For some of the other volunteers who may be not quite as interested in that
That's right.
aspect,
Yeah.
for them it's about the social aspect. It's about learning new skills, stepping out of their comfort zone a little bit, stretching themselves, and, you know, just about getting out in the community. 'Cause we're all
And we've
about-
taught so many volunteers how to cook on this show.
Yes.
I can't tell you how much they've learned in that kitchen. Thanks so much,
Cheers.
Kelly, for being on the show. When we come back, Chef Kathy Jaeger will be with us, and she's going to make a zucchini and artichoke tart. Stick around. Our next guest is back with us after a long absence. Kathy Jaeger was actually on this program way back when we started, about 10 years ago. And she's been around the block since then. She worked at the Hungry Heart Cafe. That's when we had her on the program.
Exactly,
Remember,
yeah.
Steve? And then she was a private chef for a while, and now she's with Newfoundland Eggs Incorporated. So I think, Kathy, it's a pretty good bet that you'll be making something with eggs today.
That's a good bet indeed.
It sounds
Good bet
exciting.
indeed.
So what are we going to make, Kathy? Let's get started.
Well, using our eggs today, we're going to be making a zucchini and artichoke tart.
Okay, so what do we have here then?
Here we have zucchini, we have fresh chopped parsley in this case, but any herb will do. We have marinated artichokes, and we have some raw onion, as well as some garlic and some lemon juice.
So what we're going to do with that?
We're going to put it all in this food
Let's go
processor
right ahead then.
here.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, we just love food processors on television.
Television. Oh, absolutely.
Yes, they're so quiet.
Yeah.
We love them.
I can take that from
Well, I
you, Kathy.
thank you.
Yeah.
You're a great
Now,
sous chef.
The great mystery. How loud will this one be?
Well, hopefully it won't be too loud,
Okay,
gentlemen.
let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, there we go. Very good. So just about a minute in there?
Just about a minute, and then once you've done that, you just need to
Crack the eggs.
crack some eggs. Some
And how many
good-
eggs are we putting into
We're
that?
putting on 4 wholesome Newfoundland eggs,
Eggs.
gentlemen.
Perfect.
And that's just the binder that's going to add the structure, as eggs do to any dish.
Yeah.
And we're just going to give that another little zap. And she's all blended
I
already.
can really smell it now. I can smell the garlic coming through with those artichokes, that's for sure.
So then this,
I can
oh,
take
there
that as
again,
well,
my
Kathy,
wonderful
yeah.
sous chef.
So I'm just curious, could this be like a modern breakfast dish?
Well, it certainly could. The artichoke hearts and the lemon, of course, and once we add the Parmesan cheese, add quite a lot of zing to it.
Oh, yeah.
It would be a delicious breakfast.
Yeah.
But again, it does pack a little bit of a punch.
Yeah.
I know that the latest trend in a lot of restaurants is to create breakfasts that are veering away from the traditional bacon and eggs and that kind of thing, you know? So
Well,
this
this
is
would-
one of them.
this
Seems
would
to
be
me this could be
excellent.
one of them.
This
yeah.
would actually be excellent. It's very nutritional, although I must say there is a half a pound of fresh grated Parmesan in here.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So, you know, it's not the lowest fat
We don't have anything against
breakfast
cheese.
you
No,
can have, but
Steve certainly doesn't.
so that's pretty much it. It just has this nice kind of, it's all kind of fluffy, all in its own right. So that once,
People shouldn't underestimate how important mixing is. It's really important to get everything kind of blended nicely together. isn't it?
correct.
and absolutely, and given that I want this to be a very light dessert, I'm
Yeah.
not going to beat it to death.
That's
I'm,
right,
I'm
okay.
just folding
Folding
it
it
in,
in,
that's what
yeah.
they call it.
Yeah.
And just so that it's nice and light.
And what do we do with that now?
Well, now we're going to put that into a prepared pan.
Does
You
this
can-
have to be greased or?
Yes, you could either grease this, or I'm a big fan of parchment paper,
Oh, okay.
right? The great parchment paper helps, you know,
Yes.
as you know, with everything, so.
But
this-
you don't have any.
No, I don't have any today for television purposes,
But you do have one already made.
but I do
But
have
wait,
one prepared.
But wait, we
Oh,
have.
but wait,
we
Karl
have-
has something.
Look. We have
All
pan.
right. Why, thank you, sir.
He was a Boy Scout, see?
He certainly was. So any size pan, in a sense, depending on how high you want it, it could be in a 9 by 9. This one, in this case, is an 11 by 7. Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
And it bakes in a 375-degree oven for 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the oven, of course, because they're all a little different.
Well, yes, that's right.
It's beautiful.
And that will rise up and be a lovely little tart in about a half
And
an
it
hour.
turns into this, right?
And it turns into this.
Okay.
So we'll just plate one up now then, shall we?
Yes, I took the opportunity to slice one in advance. Now, I have in the past used cutters for this in order to maintain, you know, an elegant shape, if you'd like.
Yeah.
So in this case, I'm just going to rest that here. This is a little bit of an avocado aioli that I just whipped up before I came.
Wow.
Yeah.
That we're just going to, because avocados are wonderful,
I love
just kind of smear
avocado.
that
Straight
there.
down the centre, and so you've got a little
Straight
bit
down
of salsa as well.
center. This served warm out of the oven is probably at its peak, just because it really truly brings out the flavors.
Yeah.
And then just a little bit of salsa, because you need a bit of that red. Kind of just adds a little bit of punch to the whole plate. So there you go, gents. That.
There you go,
That's
Karl.
beautiful.
Quick
Okay.
sample for you.
I'll just take a little bit here.
And tell me what you think.
Get some of that beautiful avocado sauce. That's really lovely.
Awesome.
That'd make a good breakfast. It would, really.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Kathy.
It's been my pleasure.
And that's it for this edition of
One Chef.
One Critic. Mmm.